The Warriors hosted the shorthanded Grizzlies last night. Let's check in on how that went. We called this a must-win for the Golden State Warriors in the middle of a 3-game homestand here, but there were some early fireworks. This is the second quarter here. Watch Draymond Green and Santi Aldama here.
Come on, Dre.
This would continue.
Can't grab a man's chest like that.
Draymond and Desmond Bain would later get into it, too. Benches would clear. Tempers would flare. Watch Grizzlies head coach Taylor Jenkins here.
No.
Know what?
Listen.
Draymond said that
Oscar
on his recently released podcast that Taylor Jenkins milked it. I'm not here to
More
say
importantly,
whether or
look at
not
how the bench reacted to Draymond. It seems like they're tired of those situations, but at least the Warriors kept playing.
Well, Draymond had 10 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists on the night. In the second half, Steph Curry really started to find his shot here, Perk.
Good for Golden State. It don't impress me against a depleted Memphis Grizzlies team.
Steph Curry feeds it out to Draymond Green, throws it down here. A bright spot, though, for the Golden State Warriors really has been the play of Jonathan.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at this. Oh, my God.
Throws it down with authority. And in case you thought that was a fluke, the point guard, Chris Paul, one more time.
Come on.
Kuminga.
He had about 8 dunks in that game.
He had a team-high 26 points. The Golden State Warriors get the win, 137-116. So with the win, the number 10 Warriors remain 3.5 games behind the number 8 Suns. So Golden State has minus 200 odds to miss the playoffs after the conclusion of the play-in tournament. This is all according to ESPN Bet. And last night on NBA Countdown, we got into what missing the playoffs could mean for the Dubs. What would it mean? Kendrick, you said the Warriors not making the playoffs at all means nothing. You said there's no ramifications. Chiney, Brian, and I all disagreed with you. You said all of that means absolutely nothing.
The floor is yours. Go ahead.
It absolutely means everything. I'm going to tell you why right now, okay? You don't not make the playoffs with a team that is based and built off a dynasty of winning championships with a player who's still at the end of his prime, but yet in his prime is important to Steph Curry. You don't make the playoffs and run it back. So if you aren't running it back, now you have to make decisions on change. When we talk about change with the Warriors, what direction are we going in? Are we still building around Steph Curry? That's a different thing than building around Jonathan Kuminga. They have 2 different timelines. They've been playing tug-of-war all year, and we've been seeing what the benefits of that, or not the benefits of it.
Right.
So them not making the playoffs is a huge deal, bro. By the way, for the market of basketball, having Steph Curry in the playoffs is important, man. This is a guy who's carried the league along with LeBron James in monumental, memorable moments in the playoffs. Steph Curry not in the playoffs is not good for anybody.
You're with all 3 of us.
Absolutely.
Contradiction at its finest is what Austin just did. He just talked about how it's everything, and then you just broke down how the Warriors been playing tug-of-war all season long.
Yes.
So we all have been witnessing and watching this team and know that they're not good enough to actually compete. We knew that before the trade deadline. We knew it after the trade deadline. Richard Jefferson actually sat in that seat that you're sitting in, looked into the camera and said, they suck.
They don't.
They're trash. Hold on. They suck in the Western Conference. And so I'm going to ask y'all this question. Is Steph Curry ever going to get traded from the Golden State Warriors?
No.
Okay. So why should it mean everything? That Steph is not going to ever, he's not ever going to leave the, hello? He's not ever going to leave the organization. So you go into this offseason. Now you have seen a lot through Jonathan Kuminga. You know what you could get from him. You've seen what Podziemski is going to bring to the table. Now Dunleavy, he has to do his due diligence and make sure he put the pieces around Steph Curry.
But those exact decisions weren't made at the trade deadline.
They should have been
I know,
made.
but what I'm saying is, if they do make those decisions this offseason, Kendrick, wouldn't this be the catalyst, the one domino that made the Golden State Warriors move in that direction? When everything you're saying, Perk, none of us disagree with you on that, but that's why it means everything.
That's what I'm saying.
It means everything, because if this is the time, Shanae, that Golden State decides that they need to make all of these drastic changes, whether that means Klay Thompson is on the roster or not, huge decisions that you, Kendrick Perkins, have been calling for. If this is the time they make it and this is the moment they decide, ipso facto, it means everything.
Yeah, and you were talking about February breaking up potentially the Golden State Warriors because that's the only way you save Steph's season. You've had that same track record talking about the Boston Celtics and some other teams, and those teams haven't done that, and yet the Celtics are building a championship right now.
But first,
hold on. They're not.
Yeah, they are.
Because my point is that you don't really rush the natural course of events. You don't break up the Celtics 2 years ago before you see what they're doing right now, making a chance to win a championship. You also don't break up the Golden State Warriors in the middle of a season where things haven't fully been evaluated. Also knowing that everyone knew internally that they had their own tumultuous start, right? That's the fact of the matter. But they had to have these natural course of events that work things out. You don't just give up someone 2 years ago that won a championship like Klay Thompson without just letting him see himself through this season before you say, all right, these natural things that happen, you're on the bench. But lastly, I think this is the most important thing. When it comes to Steph Curry, you have to allow him to have his final chapter. We're witnessing LeBron James' final chapter. He's coming after the season. Steph Curry will come off of year 15. What happened to LeBron James after year 15? He joined the Los Angeles Lakers. He made a shot at another superstar in Anthony Davis, and now he has another championship. Steph Curry is probably the closest in our generation of great players. So give them the opportunity to evaluate and see how to build a team based off of the timeline that they have lined up with Steve Kerr and Steph by their contract.
Okay, was it rumors out there, or did I make them up, that the Golden State Warriors actually called Rob Pelinka and Jeanie Buss?
That's the point, Perk, is that if this is the moment that they go big game hunting again, and then we're going to look back at this
I couldn't even get my sentence out.
Go ahead,
Did they not call it the All-Star break and ask to get LeBron James?
They did.
So they knew right then that they weren't good enough. They knew that they needed to add pieces. Draymond knew it. Steph Curry knew it. Who was going to be included in that? Probably Klay Thompson, probably Jonathan Kuminga. They didn't do it. You know why? Because they're holding on with emotions. They should have been into this way long time ago. Do you think it was a good conversation? It was an easy conversation?
Why can't they do that during
Hold on. Do you think it was a great conversation that took place between easy conversation between Klay Thompson and Steve Kerr when he decided to move Klay to the bench?
It wasn't easy.
Okay, do you think it's been an easy conversation when they've been going back and forth since the beginning of the season with Klay Thompson in his contract negotiation?
No.
The writing has been on the wall.
So let me ask you this. If the Golden State Warriors continue to go this summer big game hunting, they call around to see what stars they can pair with Steph Curry, as they did at the trade deadline, as our Ramona Shelburne and Adrian Wojnarowski reported. And they do that. They get somebody else to put next to Steph Curry, whether or not that person is still Klay Thompson, whether or not they need to part with Jonathan Kuminga, who, from everything I've heard, that is someone that the Golden State Warriors would really like to see a future with.
As they should.
If they do that, we're not going to look back at this moment when they don't potentially make the playoffs as the catalyst for why they did all that?
I won't. Y'all can, because I've been seeing the writing on the wall before the All-Star break. So y'all can have emotions about it. I said it means nothing to me.
Austin, last word.
All we're saying is there's a fine line between them contending and not even making the playoffs. So if they're not making the playoffs, I just think it's a clear-cut more sign of what direction they kind of have to go in versus them having some type of success in the postseason.
But let me ask you this before we go to bump. Are they an average team or a good team?
They can be good at times. I can't answer that question
Their record tells me that they're actually a good team that's just in a great conference.
I actually think all of us agree. We're just saying it in different ways. All right, Perk, it's not Friday, but how about we take a deep breath while we play a little game?
I'm breathing.
Buy some fixins out.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports. Can the Warriors make the playoffs? Can they get past the freaking play-in tournament? You know, I remember when the Warriors were really bad, and all of a sudden, I think when Klay got hot, they all became like, you know, Chris Paul came back from injury. There were like 9 games in a row, unbelievable. Warriors were killing it. Now everybody's back to, can the Warriors make the playoffs? You know, they have the veteran leadership, obviously. They have the scoring, obviously, and it's just a matter of time before we'll see, right? But I think that they will get past the play-in tournament. And I know it's easier said than done, obviously, because the West is just the wild, wild West. But at the end of the day, let's take a look at what happened last year in the playoffs, in the play-in tournament. They got past Sacramento Kings. I can't remember if that was in the play-in or if that was in the actual playoffs itself, but that's what happened essentially. And then they lost to the Lakers. But I feel that they do have the capability of actually making a small little run, right, to get past a couple teams to get into the play-in tournament, or they're already in now, but to get into the playoffs. But you know, what will happen in the actual playoffs itself, we have no idea. And to say that they won't make it past the play-in tournament, that's kind of far-fetched, because we all know what the Warriors can do. Then again, we all know what the Warriors are now compared to what they were 2017, 2018, and 2019, right? And obviously when they won that championship a couple of years ago. So, you know, the Warriors, never count them out. You just can't, right? Any team that Steph Curry is on, obviously it's only been the Warriors, you cannot count out. And Klay Thompson, ever since he moved to the bench, he has been good. Lately, he's been okay, but that one stretch, he was killing it. Now, Chris Paul, he's a good veteran leadership, coaching the team and whatnot kind of thing, coaching his teammates. At the end of the day, he still can make a difference. And Draymond Green, it doesn't hurt to have Draymond Green in the lineup, for sure, because when he's out, then they don't know anything on defense. But when he's there, he holds it down. So it's just a matter of regular season versus playoff, and playoffs is an entire different season. All they got to do is make it into the playoffs, and I think that they will, but we'll see what happens in the playoffs. So, you know, big question, how will the Warriors fare going into the play-in tournament? And will they get past the play-in tournament, and how will they do in the playoffs? Because there's an untapped potential in Jonathan Kuminga. We have yet to see this guy, just like you saw glimpses in the regular season here and there, but Steve Kerr needs to give this guy the shining light other than Steph Curry. And I think he will. It's just a matter of time before Jonathan Kuminga goes off consistently. And I feel like this is the year in the playoffs that he will make that jump. So leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. Can the Warriors actually make a run in the playoffs? Can they actually get past the play-in tournament? Leave a comment in the comment section. As always, this is Jag from Jaggy Sports.